Chrystia Freeland, a key player in Canadian politics, is making a shocking exit. The former deputy prime minister, who held some of the highest positions in the government, has announced she will step down from parliament to accept a new unpaid role, economic advisor to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. This move, though unexpected, is more than just a career shift. It's a signal of how global power dynamics are shifting in response to the ongoing war in Ukraine. Freeland, a fierce advocate for Ukraine and its sovereignty, is now at the center of one of the most critical geopolitical conflicts of our time. But this raises a powerful question. Can a leader who has devoted her career to national politics truly step away from her responsibilities and serve a foreign government without consequence? What does this bold decision mean for Canada, Ukraine, and the global political stage? Chrystia Freeland's decision to leave her position in Canadian Parliament isn't just a career change, it's a statement of global importance. As a long-standing advocate for Ukraine, Freeland has dedicated much of her political life to supporting the country's fight for sovereignty against Russian aggression. But stepping away from parliament to take on an unpaid advisory role for President Zelensky places her in the middle of the most critical international crisis of the decade. Known for her roles as Canada's finance minister and foreign affairs minister, Freeland was at the heart of some of the most pivotal decisions in Canadian politics. Now she's choosing to focus on the international stage, at a time when global tensions are reaching new heights. Her move raises the question, what does it mean for Canada's role on the world stage? And what will this decision mean for Freeland's legacy, as both a politician and a global leader? Chrystia Freeland's political journey has always been marked by her deep international focus. Serving as Canada's first female finance minister, she played a pivotal role in navigating the country through the financial challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. But Freeland's ties to global diplomacy go beyond financial matters. Her experience as Canada's foreign affairs minister placed her at the forefront of shaping Canada's foreign policy during critical moments, particularly regarding Russia's growing aggression toward Ukraine. Freeland, of Ukrainian descent, has been a vocal advocate for Ukraine since the early stages of the conflict with Russia, and her decisions on sanctions against Moscow were central to Canada's international response. Yet her decision to step away from parliament and advise Zelensky signals a deepening commitment to Ukraine's future. This isn't just about political ideology, it's about a personal and professional dedication to a cause Freeland has championed for years. As she transitions from a national leader to a global figure, it's clear that Freeland is reshaping her legacy on the world stage. The turning point in Freeland's career came in late 2024 when she resigned from her role as Canada's deputy prime minister. This was no ordinary resignation. It was a public break from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, marking a significant shift in the country's political landscape. Freeland accused Trudeau of failing to effectively address the looming threat of U.S. tariffs, which many saw as a sign of deepening division within the Liberal Party. Her resignation letter was a scathing critique, calling for a more robust response to international trade issues, and it ultimately contributed to Trudeau's political exit. The crisis that ensued was not just a personal departure. It was a moment of reckoning for the Liberal Party and Canadian politics as a whole. Freeland's decision to leave the national stage raised important questions. Was this simply about internal party politics, or was it a deeper signal of Freeland's evolving political identity? As her departure from Parliament becomes imminent, her critics and supporters alike are left grappling with the implications of this dramatic shift in her political journey. Freeland's decision to step away from Canadian politics and advise Zelensky is about more than just personal ambition. It's about influence and strategy on a global scale. Her new role as an economic advisor to Ukraine positions her to play a key part in shaping the country's recovery post-conflict, and her expertise in international trade and economic policy makes her an ideal choice. But this is not a simple advisory role. It's a role with immense power to influence the direction of one of Europe's most war-torn nations. Ukraine's path to recovery will depend on attracting foreign investments and rebuilding its shattered infrastructure, both of which require a deep understanding of global economics and geopolitics. Freeland's long-standing ties to global economic institutions and her experience in managing trade relations give her a unique skill set. However, her dual role advising Ukraine while leading the Rhodes Trust raises important questions. How can Freeland juggle these international obligations while maintaining her Canadian identity? The mechanisms at play are far-reaching, and they will test her ability to balance personal commitment with global leadership. Freeland's decision to take on a high-profile international role has ignited fierce debate within Canada. The move has raised concerns about whether it's ethical for a sitting member of parliament to serve as an advisor to a foreign leader, particularly in the midst of a geopolitical crisis. Conservative foreign affairs critic Michael Chong was quick to voice his opposition, arguing, one cannot be a Canadian MP and an advisor to a foreign government. This critique cuts to the heart of a growing controversy. Can Freeland truly serve both her country and Ukraine at the same time? Her critics argue that her allegiance may now be split, and that she risks losing the trust of her constituents, who elected her to represent Canadian interests. With her departure from Parliament imminent, the question remains, did Freeland abandon her duties to Canada, or is she taking on a mission that transcends national borders? This crisis forces Canadians to confront the complexities of international leadership and the limits of national loyalty. As the pressure mounts, Freeland must decide whether her new role will empower her or lead to further division. Freeland's resignation hits hardest for the people of University Rosedale, her riding in Toronto, where she has long been a trusted and influential representative. Her supporters are torn. Many are proud of her global leadership, especially her unwavering support for Ukraine, but others feel betrayed by her decision to step away. What about us? One constituent asks, pointing to the local issues that Freeland once championed, such as affordable housing and climate change. For these voters, her departure raises the unsettling question of whether national concerns are being overshadowed by international ambitions. Freeland's departure isn't just a political decision, it's a deeply personal one for her constituents, who now face the loss of a leader they have long trusted. While some view her move as a noble sacrifice for a global cause, others are left questioning whether the needs of her community were left behind in the process. As Freeland's departure looms, it's clear that her impact on the people she served will not be easily forgotten, nor is the emotional weight of her choice lost on them. Freeland's decision to take on a key advisory role for President Zelensky places her squarely at the center of global geopolitics. Ukraine's struggle for sovereignty against Russia has become one of the defining issues of the 21st century, and Freeland's new role makes her a key player in this conflict. As an economic advisor, her primary responsibility will be helping to rebuild Ukraine's economy, an immense challenge, given the devastation caused by the war. Freeland's experience in international trade, coupled with her deep knowledge of global economic policy, will play a crucial role in attracting the foreign investment needed for Ukraine's recovery. However, this move also puts her at the heart of the geopolitical struggle between the West and Russia. The stakes are high. Freeland's influence could shape the future of Ukraine's political and economic landscape, but it also places her at the center of tensions between Russia and the West. As the world watches, Freeland's actions will have a ripple effect on international relations, with consequences far beyond Ukraine's borders. The future of both Freeland's career and Ukraine's recovery is full of uncertainty. In the best-case scenario, Freeland's expertise and leadership will help Ukraine emerge from the war stronger than ever. With her guidance, the country could attract much-needed foreign investment and rebuild its economy, becoming a beacon of resilience in the face of adversity. Freeland's involvement might even elevate Canada's international standing, positioning the country as a key player in global efforts to reshape the post-war order. However, in a more realistic scenario, Freeland's efforts will likely face significant hurdles. The political instability within Canada, along with the ongoing complexities of the war in Ukraine, could limit the scope of her influence. While her role as an advisor could bring incremental progress, the challenges may prove more difficult to overcome than anticipated. In the worst-case scenario, Freeland's international commitments could further erode her standing in Canadian politics, leaving her legacy in flux. The political vacuum caused by her departure could hinder Canada's ability to assert itself globally, especially in a time when global leadership is critical. Freeland's decision to leave Parliament has set in motion a series of events that could redefine her career and the future of international diplomacy. Chrystia Freeland's departure from Parliament and her new role as an economic advisor to President Zelensky marks a pivotal moment in both her career and global politics. It's a bold statement, one that underscores the growing interconnectivity between national politics and global crises. Her decision reflects the shifting nature of political leadership in a world where borders are increasingly irrelevant, and leaders must navigate complex international challenges. Freeland's focus on Ukraine, a country at the forefront of the battle for democracy, positions her as a central figure in shaping the future of not just Ukraine, but the broader global order. The world is watching to see if her expertise can lead to a successful post-war recovery for Ukraine, and what role Canada will play on the global stage moving forward. As we follow Freeland's journey, one thing is clear. Her actions will not just influence the course of the Ukraine crisis, they will define her legacy as a leader on the world stage. The future is uncertain, but Freeland's boldness is a reminder that some political moves shape the course of history.